What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski and I am back again here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And today we're going to be talking about the brand new units that were brought to Rare Recruit last week, being the three brothers of Ace, Luffy and Sabo. These three units were the kid versions before they were famous, as it says on the banner. Before they were famous, when they were kids, Ace, Luffy, and Sabo. Now what we will be doing today, guys, is breaking down these units, because I actually did get a comment in one of my last videos on Frankie walkthrough, or the Frankie How to Beat Frankie video, and they did ask a breakdown of these units and my opinions on them. So without further ado, guys, let's get straight into the video. So first off, let's start by breaking down one of the brothers, being Luffy, Mount Corvo's Brothers 3, Cup of Sworn Brotherhood. Now, each of these are a 5-star version and a 4-star version, and we are only going to be reviewing the 5-star version. The 4-star version has the exact same captain effect and special ability, I'm pretty sure, only the fact that they have different stats, obviously. Also, when you do recruit them, all of their specials are maxed, so there is no skill books, and even if you do recruit more than one of them, there's no possibility to get a special level up, as they all are at max, I do believe. So here we have Luffy here. At level 1, he is at 479 health, 209 attack, and 231 recovery. And when he does get maxed out at level 70, he has 1058 health, 541 attack, and nearly 400 recovery. Now, as I said, guys, this is the 5-star unit. Now, this Luffy here is a strength fighter, so a red fighter type unit. His captain effect reads that it slightly raises the chances of receiving recovery slots and boosts the crew's attack by 1.2 times. So he isn't that good as a captain. Any special ability will reduce the current HP by 10% and deals 1 times character's attack in strength damage to one enemy, and it also prevents death as long as HP is above 50% for 1 turn. So he is kind of like a 1-turn Laboon with his special ability. But anyways, that is the breakdown of Luffy. I will be going into more detail at the end of the video. So now let's move on to the next brother, being Ace. So now we have Ace, Mount Corvo's Brothers 3, Cup of Sworn Brotherhood, who is a 5-star unit, this version 1, and he is a quick fighter type unit. At level 1, he does have 571 health, 295 attack, and 200 recovery. When he's maxed out at level 70 as a 5-star unit, he has 1072 health, 559 attack, and almost 400 recoveries. As you can see, there's kind of like a trend with these units that, you know, their attack and health aren't the best, but their recovery is really, really strong. You know, having nearly 400 recovery on a unit is pretty beast. Moving on to his captain effect, he has a boost quick attack characters and HP, the attack and HP of quick characters by 1.5 times. So, kind of an average unit, and I'm pretty sure Diamble Jambe Sanji has the exact same captain effect. And the special ability, it will reduce bind duration by 4 turns and deals 3 times character's attack in quick damage to one enemy. So having the reduced bind is actually really, really strong, and I think that having a duration of 4 reduction is the most in the game thus far. So that's pretty crazy. Now that we've had a look over Ace, let's go and review the last brother, being Sabo. So the last of the 3 brothers here is Sabo, Mount Corvo's Brothers 3, Cup of Sworn Brotherhood. Now this is the 5-star unit. He is a Psy Striker, so a little bit different from Ace and Luffy being fighters. Sabo is actually a striker unit, and at level 1 as a 5-star unit, he has 440 health, 233 attack, and 242 recovery. When he's maxed out at level 70, he has 951 health, 460 attack, and 450 recovery, which is massive. His captain effect, it will boost Psy attack by 1.5 times and prevents defeat for 1 turn if HP is over a certain amount, that certain amount being 50% of health at least. And his special ability will greatly raise the chances of Psy slots appearing and lowers the chance of intelligence slots appearing for 3 turns, which is a quite interesting special. Nothing that we've really had like in global version thus far, having a special that will increase chances of orbs appearing. So now that we've overviewed these 3 units itself, I'm going to give my overall opinions on these units itself. So here are the 3 brothers here. We have Sabo, Ace, and Luffy, and now I will give you guys my personal opinions on each one of these units. First off, having a look at Luffy here, he is almost useless. He doesn't have that great of stats. His captain effect is pretty awful, and his special ability is a one-turn Laboon, so you can't really utilize it that well. So overall, you know, Luffy is probably the worst out of the three of these brothers. Now, if we move on to Ace, now Ace is pretty interesting in the fact that he has the highest bind reduction of any other unit in the game, equal with Rayleigh, who I believe reduces bind by 4 turns as well. Now, having that reduction of bind for 4 turns is absolutely crazy. Although, similar to Luffy and Sabo, their stats aren't really the best with Ace, you know, especially because his attack is actually the highest of the three, but it really isn't that much anyway, you know, being maxed at your highest evolution at nearly, not even 600 attack is pretty poor. And his captain effect isn't really that useful. It can be used reasonably well. However, the unit itself, you know, even with double attack and HP, it really doesn't help out your team as much. But that special ability is pretty decent. Now, if we move over to Sabo here, now Sabo, he is a Psy striker. You know, Psy units are actually pretty powerful. And you look at his captain effect, it is basically a Laboon. Now, that's pretty interesting because you can utilize this, and if you have this and VV, you know, you're giving VV a 1.5 times boost of attack, which is absolutely crazy. So you can imagine that this and VV is a really decent team. Now, his special ability will greatly increase the chances of Psy slots appearing and lower intelligence slots. So this could even be a substitute unit for your Psy team if you really need one. However, the Garp Burst team utilizing, you know, Mr. 2, Marco, Impact Usopp, and Kobe, you know, that's a pretty optimal team. However, you know, this is actually a pretty decent special to just increase your chances of seeing those Psy slots. But as I said, this and VV, as captains having like a zombie team, is actually pretty decent. So I would say that Sabo is definitely the best out of the brothers. However, Ace's special is also really awesome to have as well. Now, just a couple of tips right before we finish this video is that number one, these units, you know, as I said, the stats aren't the best. The specials and captain effects are kind of average as well. And make sure, guys, I would definitely recommend to save your gems and not pull during this period that these brothers are available. Reason being is that, number one, that these brothers will be available later on in another Sugo Fest. Now, it's not stated when they will be available. However, they will be available in some future Sugo Fest as a secret character. Now, if you guys don't know what that is, basically means that throughout a certain period, the Bandai might put a secret character throughout either a week period, throughout a Sugo Fest period, throughout a 2-week period. It doesn't really matter, but they will be available later on in future Sugo Fest and future events. So you don't really need to go ahead and waste all your gems now, because definitely you want to save your gems to try and upgrade your box to max and try and, you know, farm specific raid bosses to try and get their specials up. So I would definitely recommend to save your gems throughout this period, but if you really want to go ahead and do it, you can go ahead and do it. I'm not stopping you. But anyways, guys, that is going to conclude my thoughts and opinions on the three brothers before they were famous. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you guys did, make sure to smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise videos, then make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.